We're going to move back to file item 51. Senator Newman. Madam Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 31 by Senator Newman relative to Arab American Heritage Month.
Senator Newman.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President and Senators, I am pleased to present SCR 31, which commemorates the month of April as Arab American Heritage Month in California. Since emigrating to America, people of Arab descent have continuously shared their rich culture and traditions. They brought with them to our country a combination of resilient family values, a strong work ethic, dedication to education, and diversity in faith, which have enriched our culture and strengthened our democracy. California boasts the largest population of Arab Americans of any state in the country, with approximately 800,000 Californians of Arab descent, and I am very proud to note that my district, California's 29th, is home to the highest concentration of Arab Americans anywhere in California in an area known as Little Arabia. Little Arabia sits in a small and vibrant section of West Anaheim that features many thriving small businesses, including ethnic markets, restaurants, bakeries, and clothing stores, as well as numerous mosques and churches that minister to the region's Arab American community. For well over a century in the United States, Arab Americans have been making valuable contributions to every aspect of American society, to include medicine, law, business, technology, government, and culture. Despite their many achievements and longstanding contributions to our nation, the positive place of Arab Americans in American life has often remained neglected or distorted by the sorts of misunderstandings and bigotry which have too often informed our national discourse and driven our recent politics. Especially in recent years, members of the Arab American communities in this state and throughout the nation have been subject to civil rights abuses, harmful stereotyping, harassment, and bullying. We saw an alarming uptick in this regard over the past 4 years, especially following the previous administration's efforts to implement a so-called Muslim ban. This type of bias and bigotry is fundamentally un-American and must not be tolerated. I am among those who have been so encouraged to see a very different attitude at the federal level taking shape under the current administration, alongside a renewed national mood that is far more receptive to other cultures and appropriately appreciative of the benefits of the incorporation of diverse ingredients to the American melting pot. As a prime example, for the first time ever, the U.S. State Department, perhaps following in California's footsteps, has also designated the month of April as Arab American Heritage Month. Today's Senate resolution is part of a broader effort toward creating awareness and paying respect to California's Arab American residents while celebrating their achievements and highlighting their commitments and contributions to a peaceful and diverse society. With that in mind, I respectfully ask for your aye vote to recognize the month of April as Arab American Heritage Month in the state of California. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Newman. Members, we will go to discussion and debate, starting with Senator Pan. Senator Pan.
Thank you, Madam President. Senators, as chair of the Asian Pacific Islander Legislative Caucus, I am honored to rise in support of SCR 31, recognizing April as Arab American Heritage Month. I'd like to thank my good friend from Fullerton for introducing this resolution and highlighting the many contributions of Arab Americans to California. The Arab American community is a vital part of our state. The API communities have had a long history of working in partnership with the Arab American community in the fight against hate and racism. We look forward to continuing to partnering with the Arab American community and celebrating their rich cultural heritage here in California. I respectfully ask for your aye vote in support of SCR 31. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Pan. Senator Min.
Thank you, Madam President. Today I rise in support of SCR 31. I want to thank my friend from Fullerton for bringing this to the floor. About 800,000 Californians are of Arab heritage and descent, and in Orange County, I'm proud to represent a thriving Arab American community. In fact, in Orange County, I believe in my colleague from Fullerton's district, we have a little ethnic enclave called Little Arabia, which is an amazing place to visit. Arab Americans are leaders in our community and across the state in areas such as medicine, law, business, technology, and government, to name just a few. But too often, the history of Arab Americans gets neglected, and we've seen far too often displaced by bigotry and anti-Arab hate in the form of crimes, hate speech, harmful stereotyping, harassment, and bullying. And that is a shame because Arab history is so rich culturally, intellectually, and has provided the world with so many accomplishments. We have to meet this with education, awareness, and cultural competence. I support including Arab American studies as part of our ethnic studies model curriculum. This has to be part of the education efforts we make. But I'm proud to support this resolution. I thank my colleague again from Fullerton for bringing this to the floor, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Min. Senator Wiener.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise as Vice Chair of the California Legislative Jewish Caucus in support of SCR 31, which uplifts the contributions of Arab American Californians and Americans and celebrates our Arab American community. Arab Americans are a racially diverse ethnic minority with similar population sizes in California, about 1 million people. There are also many Mizrahi or Middle Eastern Jews, many of whom identify as Arab. I'm proud of the work our two communities have done together, the Jewish community and the Arab American community, to develop a greater understanding of each other and to fight together against intolerance. Specifically, in recent years, Jews and Arab Americans have shown up for one another in powerful ways following deadly attacks on each of our communities. And through our collective advocacy, we now have an ethnic studies curriculum that makes space for students to learn about both Jewish and Arab history and culture. This includes an intersectional lesson plan devoted specifically to Mizrahi Jews. As we ring the alarm on the recent rise in hate crimes, it's important to remember that our country has long held a pernicious hatred of Arabs, which has become even more pronounced in the post-9/11 and Trump eras. And unfortunately, this body, our legislature, does not have any Arab American members to stand on the floor and remind us of this trend. Nearly a million Arab Americans live in California, and yet they have no representation from their own community in this legislature. This is unfortunate, and we must continue to support and uplift our Arab American communities. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge that we're in the midst of the holy month of Ramadan. We know that Arab Americans are a religiously diverse community, including Christians, including Jews, but to our Muslim Arab American brothers and sisters, I wish you a Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Weiner. Senator Bradford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As Chair of the Legislative Black Caucus, I too rise in support of SCR 31 and want to recognize Arab Americans' rich contribution not only to the state of California but to this nation as well. And as my previous colleagues have stated, it sends a clear signal around the world that we as Californians and Americans welcome diversity and not shun it and make light of it. And we need the rich history, and as stated, that stresses the importance of having ethnic studies in our schools system so we can learn about the rich, diverse cultures that exist here in America that have made this state and this country great. And if we were to be aware, recognizing Arab history and their contributions in a way is recognizing Africa as well. So I thank you for this resolution and ask for aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Bradford. Members, any further discussion or debate? Seeing and hearing none, Senator Newman, you may close.
Thank you, Madam President. I thank my colleagues for their kind and eloquent words of support, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote today.
Thank you, Senator Newman. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Archuleta. Aye. Atkins. Aye. Bates. Aye. Becker. Borges. Aye. Bradford. Aye. Caballero. Aye. Cortese. Aye. Daly. Aye. Dodd. Aye. Durazo. Aye. Eggman. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Gonzalez. Aye. Grove. Aye. Hertzberg. Hueso. Aye. Hurtado. Aye. Jones. Aye. Kamlager. Aye. Laird. Aye. Leyva. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Melendez. Aye. Min. Aye. Newman. Aye. Nielsen. Aye. Ochoa Bogue. Aye. Pan. Aye. Portantino. Aye. Roth. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Skinner. Aye. Umberg. Aye. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Weiner. Aye. Wilk. Aye.
Senator moves the call. Members, we're moving to file item 53. Senator Umberg. Madam Secretary, please read.